Imagine this. Almost 3 decades ago, Namco produces a tennis game for the PlayStation 1. It's called Anna Kournikovas Smash Court Tennis, or just Smash Court 2. One day, I'm playing a little web browser game, listening to my music, when suddenly, this song starts autoplaying. I love it, so much so that I make a note to play the game where it came from, Smash Court 2. And then, eventually, I did. And I left feeling conflicted. Okay, here's the thing. Overall, I like this game. It has a lot of good. But in my eyes, it doesn't quite live up to what it could be. Its problems make it hard for me to want to keep playing. And that stings. I'm getting ahead of myself though. Let's start with the basics, and I'll walk you through everything. Smash Court 2 is fundamentally extremely simple. Everything you'd see in normal tennis is here. There are no gimmicks, no special mechanics, nothing. You literally just play regular tennis here, and you do it in one of 4 modes: Exhibition, Tournament, Smash Blast, and Practice. If you just want to play a quick round of tennis, Exhibition's the best place for that. If you want to compete in a tournament, then you pick Tournament mode. They're pretty similar, but Tournament mode does have some unique traits. You can see the stats of all the playable characters in this mode. There's a diverse lot of people here. My personal favorites were D'Souza and Renzo, but I honestly didn't feel a big difference when playing as various characters. Even when I played as Akiko, who, and I say this lovingly, really should not be anywhere near a tennis court. You can unlock equipment for your character to use. It ranges from the all-powerful gay racket to kinda neat, I guess, to... But, as you can see, all of the equipment is cosmetic. They don't have any impact on the actual gameplay. So basically, even though Tournament mode has some cool additions, these 2 modes really are interchangeable. Smash Blast is interesting. You need at least 2 real people to play it, and you both create your own team consisting of 5 characters. The goal is to eliminate all players on the opposing team before your opponent does. You do this by hitting tennis balls at each other that explode once the timer reaches 0 or if you fail to hit it. So I guess just bombs. You throw bombs at each other. It's a game of hot potato in an abandoned warehouse over some EDM. An unexpected environment, yes, but one that I am very much okay with being in. And it's a little different from the normal tennis too, which I appreciate. And practice is exactly what you think it is. You can practice in 2 ways: shot training and warm-up. If you want to train responding to specific moves, do shot training. If you want to practice rallying and just get the controls down, do warm-up. So all you're really doing in this game is playing regular tennis. But how does the tennis actually feel to play? Well, that is where the problems start to show. This is a game that came out in 1998 to 1999. I was not alive during this time, but I know that sometimes the controls in older games can feel kinda cumbersome and awkward, and this game is a good example of that. When I first started this game, I kept noting 2 things. The swinging animation felt a little sluggish, and the hit detection felt a little off. But honestly, once I got accustomed to it, it all just felt okay. Vague, I know, but this really is the best way for me to describe it. The movement and the swinging, you know, the 2 things you do in this game, were just serviceable. Nothing bad and nothing great either. But to me, this is where the real trouble lies. Like I said, there's nothing else in Smash Court 2 besides the realistic tennis in those 4 similar simple modes. The game is already very repetitive, so if it all just feels okay, then this game becomes a very tough sell. The whole time I played it, it never felt great or incredibly fun, just decent enough. And even a little dull at times with how repetitious it all was. That 1 3-letter word I bet you're thinking of, in other words. I know it's just a simple tennis game, and being okay is not inherently a bad thing. But to me, it feels worse because there's so much outside the gameplay to love. And what makes me sadder is that it didn't have to be this way. The Japanese version of this game has a mode that actually, slightly, fixes this problem. It's called Smash Roulette. In it, you spin a roulette to move across a map, battle other players for money, buy and sell stuff in shops. It's a whole new gameplay style. You're still playing tennis, but at least you're doing something different in between to mix things up. Kinda like the story mode of Mario Super Sluggers. To top it off, when you select this mode, the game plays a really interesting cutscene with an opening monologue. I think there's an actual story here. Granted, I understand literally none of it, but it's still so cool that it exists. And it just makes me wonder why the other version didn't get something like this. Okay, I've spoken at length about what doesn't work for me with this game. So then, conversely, what do I like about it? A lot, actually. Like the visuals, for example. A lot of the menus have this very distinct style. You got slightly low-quality GIFs of random things, text in what I'm pretty sure is straight-up Comic Sans, repeating patterns in the background, stylized and simple character portraits, tennis balls. I like all of it. It feels rough around the edges, but charming, like what I imagine the internet in the 90s was like. And honestly, I think an endearingly human style like this is all the more important to appreciate, considering recent events. Some of the locations in this game look really good too. A couple of them are just regular stadiums, but then you have places like Los Angeles where the court glows and you're playing in front of a drive-in theater. Or the Great Barrier Reef where you can see people and animals swimming underneath the court. And the actual character models look pretty dated. I can't find a positive spin on that one. I've been playing this game at a higher resolution, but the original models look pretty old too. They serve their purpose though, and that's what matters. Also, if you couldn't tell by the 13-second uninterrupted musical intro, I really vibe with this game's music. There's the more obvious that plays in the practice mode, but then there's songs for places like Los Angeles. Galleria Milano. And Westminster. Plus, this game has something I love to see in any game: adaptive music. For those that don't know, it's basically when the song stays the same, but the arrangement or the volume or tempo changes depending on what you do. I'll give you a short example. Trust me, give this game's soundtrack a listen. It's so fun. And the cherry on top, this game has so many little details. In a lot of areas, you can interact with tons of elements of the background. Like in Westminster, you can hit the bus as it's driving. You can hit the NPCs with the tennis ball, and they respond pretty calmly. If you get hit with a ball hard enough, you go flying. In France, the announcer actually says everything in French instead of English. At least, I'm pretty sure it's French. And sometimes, instead of music, you just get to listen to the peaceful ambiance of the stage. There are so many more things like this. This game has a genuine attention to detail that I appreciate so much. But all things considered, these positives, while meaningful, are pretty small when compared to the bigger problems. And that's the worst part. I really vibe with the presentation and sound and little details, but gameplay is important, and I just wish it was on the same level as everything else. Still, overall, Smash Court 2 really does have some stuff worth experiencing, and you should see it for yourself. If you do try this game out, either through emulation or just buying it, keep an open mind and form your own opinions. Thanks for watching, and please give me feedback. This is my first time being a bit more critical, so let me know if everything was clear and understandable. Also, tell me about a game, or any piece of media really, that you think has a lot of good but doesn't quite live up to what it could be. You listened to me ramble for this long, so tell me about something you like. I'm gonna go take a nap now though. As always, take care.